Hey folks, and welcome back here to Gatekeeper Media as we continue to bring you coverage of the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship out in Charlotte, North Carolina in Nevin Park. We're in our quarterfinals and things are starting to heat up. And we also want to let you know, though, that this commentary is brought to you by Dynamic Disc. Gain an edge over your competition with a superior look and feel of the Dynamic Disc Supreme Series plastic. You can learn more about this next-gen disc technology at the link in the description. And my name is Dustin Murray, and I'll be bringing the commentary alongside Nathan Queen.
And excited to be back here out at Nevin Park in Charlotte, North Carolina. Get to see the four players that made it from our quarterfinal round yesterday. From our first round. We've got Drew Gibson, Bradley Williams, Mason Ford, and Niklas Anttila.
Indeed, this is how things are kind of looking right now. And this is important to look at because seeding is the tiebreaker if we do have some scores racking up that way.
And getting straight into our bag checks. Drew Gibson putting with those Penrose OG hards. Gonna see some jokery and buzz up shots. And Eagle, Hatchet, Scepter's got a lot of those fairways in there, and then possibly some destroyers.
Yeah, then we got Bradley Williams putting with the Firefly. Gonna see some pig approach shots, perhaps. Also likes the Gator and the Rock 3. Also gonna see the T-Bird, Firebird, perhaps a Roadrunner in these woods, as well as the Wraith, and of course a Destroyer.
Getting into Mason's bag, likes to putt with the EMAC Judges. Classic blend, gonna see some harps, verdicts, and justices for upshots. Really leans on those getaways, especially here in the woods, but probably see some felons, maybe a Maverick shot or two as well.
Yeah, and then we get to Niklas Anttila, putts with the P1, likes the tactics for those approaches, really loves to throw the MD3. We're going to see a lot of that in the woods today. Also likes the FD, the PD, the DD3, and if you need something overstable, perhaps the PD2.
And straight into hole one, 320 feet. Par 3, you've got to make it over this path. As you see that OB crossing there. One of the easier holes on the course, really one you want to get to start your round.
First up on our 2 p.m. tee time, representing Infinite Discs, please put your hands together for Mr. Drew Gibson.
And Drew Gibson, of course, popping off the beginning of the year with a win at the Las Vegas Challenge. Also saw him come 7th at the OTB Open and had some top 10 finishes at Champions Cup and Ledgestone. Hit a couple of bumps in the road here towards the end of the season, but definitely a guy who's always a great competitor in these situations.
And these four players, like I said earlier, are the ones that advanced from yesterday. So you could look at it as they have an advantage of recently seeing the course as Drew absolutely parks it. Go ahead and take another look at that.
We talked about this kind of amongst ourselves, Nathan, that we have 3 of the smoothest backhands on tour, perhaps, on this card, and that's one of them right there for a pretty much park job.
Next on the tee, representing Innova Champion Discs, please welcome Mr. Bradley Williams.
So Bradley also had a win on tour this year at the Preserve. He's currently ranked in the top 20 in the UDisc World Rankings. Had a couple of top 15 finishes at Green Mountain Championships, the MVP Open, and at US DGC. So in some pretty good recent form coming into this.
Bradley started off yesterday with 9 birdies, I believe, throughout the front 13 holes or so. So he's could have a difficult time keeping pace with that today with all these trees.
Representing Dynamic Discs, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Mason Ford.
And we got Mason Ford here, came 7th at the Des Moines Challenge and has top 15 finishes at the OTB Open, Jonesboro, Champions Cup, Waco, and World. So he's done it pretty solid throughout the season, including at the major events. Another very smooth backhand player.
And we see another very smooth backhand sliding up there to circle 1.
Rounding out our card, representing Discmania, please put your hands together for Mr. Niklas Anttila.
All right, Niklas Anttila, currently ranked number 9 in the UDisc World Rankings. Of course, he just came 2nd at US DGC to Gannon Burr by just a stroke. It was a very tough battle throughout those 4 rounds. He also had a top 10 finish at the Green Mountain Championship, top 15 at the MVP Open, and top 20 at the Des Moines Challenge. Hasn't been here, full-time, but definitely had a lot of stops this year and did very well.
Yeah, and got all the way up to that 25th seed. Not making it to all the stops as he scoots up to inside the circle as well. 4 birdie putts here to start our round. Oh,
Yeah,
just
Niklas has a
outside.
bit of work to do. Yeah, he is going to be probably about maybe just under 40 feet. And that is going to come up just a touch short. Bradley Williams able to hit the right side to grab that one under. As this is a hole you really want to get. Definitely places one of the easier holes on the course.
Yeah, we had 7 of the 12 players playing today were able to connect for birdie on this one.
Mason Ford's going to be one of them right next to Bradley Williams. And Drew Gibson, assuming we did an instant replay of him, I'm assuming he's pretty darn close. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't think he'll miss this one.
Nah, I don't think so.
And so 3 of the 7 birdies we saw on the day here on our advancing card from the day before, going into hole 2, 410-foot par 3, downhill immediately about 20 feet. You got OB all the way on the left side, and push forward just a little bit, but pretty much move right the entire way. Drew gonna go with a much more technical backhand shot here rather than the forehand play.
So it's like a mid-in hand. And that is looking pristine. Look at this shot from Gibson.
Oh my goodness.
Getting on up there. Wow.
Incredible
Almost back-to-back
shot.
replays, man.
I was waiting for it. That's why I didn't say anything.
Good looking forehand here from Williams. Just out, kind of midway through circle 2, I suppose.
Yeah, it gets up there nicely, but just dumps a bit too much at the end.
As you were kind of talking about yesterday, you really want to be inside that center tree, which Mason Ford has done very well.
Yeah, and he's stood this up nicely as well. Oh yeah, it skips up there right beside Drew's disc. Gonna have a nice birdie look.
Yeah, again, the real error we've seen is either going outside that tree or pushing the disc too straight, and that is what can get you short of circle 1 or perhaps even out of bounds. But Niklas also find that inside gap. Kind of a dead skip.
Yeah, we definitely saw Mason skip a bit farther forward. That should still put him right around circle's edge, though.
Oh, certainly on target, but just a touch high with the jumper there from Williams. Had to settle for par. Certainly 1 down through 2 isn't a bad way to kick things off.
Yeah, actually about midway through circle 2. Oh, and just a bit right side on that one. Looked like a good line.
Yeah, I mean, Niklas hasn't really had a circle 1 putt yet. As Mason Ford going to go back-to-back to kick things off. Gibson looking to join him here, as he was the CTP.
Yeah, back-to-back birdies difficult to do on this course. But one of the easier spots, I would say, is hole 1 and 2 right here. 2 players able to do that. They are. And great starts for these 2. That's what you got to do in this format. Get the birdies and stay ahead of the competition. Gives you the least amount of stress that you can get.
Yeah, we actually had 5 players go back-to-back today. The 3 players on our card, or 2 of them, I should say. And then we also had Isaac Robinson, James Conrad, and Chris Clements going back-to-back. So shout out to them for the hot starts.
Yeah, doing what you need to do. Moving into hole 3. Much more difficult birdie to get. 425 feet. It's a tighter tunnel. It's flat for a lot longer, and you've really got to push your disc straight for 280 feet or so before a pretty severe dogleg to the right that just kind of keeps tucking around. Even after you turn right, you still need the disc to continue to skip right.
And yesterday, not a single player out of the 16 that participated made it to Circle 1 in regulation. So it is such a tough hole. Likely looking at a Circle 2 putt at best for birdie. Smooth shot here from Williams, but kind of get caught up on that right-hand side just a touch early.
And he was not even trying to be aggressive there. You saw that looked like it was possibly a mid-range, just trying to navigate the majority of the fairway, see what it left him with.
And Niklas, you're going to be seeing him throw this disc all day, but unfortunately, he also will have it a little too turned over and get caught up on that right-hand side. So
Yeah,
everyone's got to get their scrambling shoes on early here.
Yeah, a bit of a good kick there for Niklas, though. It looks like he may have kicked off to the left. It's going to have a better angle.
Mason again getting caught up, so now probably looking at bogey at best if he can get out of that mess. And even Niklas getting caught up on his way to the green. It's going to be a long putt to save par.
You see all those late trees. You can't even see them off the tee. And Bradley going to have to deal with those now, going high turnover.
Man,
Almost.
It's been a struggle for everyone right now, and Ford still has a lot of work to do. Panning out a little bit earlier than he was hoping for, and so that's going to be a long putt just to save bogey.
Drew all the way down here, though. Long birdie look. Easy par. Got to play nicely as he's watched the rest of the card kind of scramble down here.
That should be par for Gibson, so doing well to scramble. It's always going to be a tough par save there from Williams in that mess, but it'll be a 4. Niklas catching the bucket.
What would have been a great par save for Niklas, not quite able to connect.
Bring that one home as we see Ford indeed will actually hit the long putt there to at least limit the damage to a bogey. And we're going to see kind of the rest of this card just clean up, lick their wounds, and hope to just live on these next holes. As again, this was the second most difficult hole on the course, playing a quarter stroke over par. We only had 3 birdies on the day. That was Aaron Gosh's, Ezra Aderhold, and Kevin Jones, with Kevin being the only one landing in Circle 1.
Behind every face is a story, unique, each and every one. Beautiful stories. Inspiring stories. Some beyond our wildest dreams. And every day, a new story begins. We salute every fearless, self-assured, undeterred, hopeful face all across America. Here's to the next 100 years. Barbasol.
Moving into hole 4, 462-foot par 3, downhill about 32 feet to get to this basket. You've got this OB Creek about 380 feet off of the tee, probably playing 400 feet or so to get to this pin. Really want to throw a fairway driver, hyzer stand-up shot.
Yeah, it's a 32-foot decline off the tee, but then about an 18-foot incline as you approach the green. As Drew Gibson, oh no, what an unfortunate kick. I'm not sure if he's OB or not. We'll find out. Looked like it was, though.
Looking so good. Great line on it, just catching that late.
Mason Ford, though. Buttery smooth and right in the Circle 1. What a shot.
And speaking
wow.
of smooth, we've got a third player with that buttery smooth backhand getting all the way across the creek. Catching that last tree of this guarded green, though.
And Niklas is going to get caught up on that right-hand side. And to be fair, Niklas, even though his form doesn't look necessarily as smooth, he's been lacing some lines in the woods, and it's the type of golf he likes to play coming from Finland. Definitely used to wooded golf from the Nordic region.
Yeah, his release is very smooth. His pull-through, just the way that he throws the disc is smooth. Everything he does before that makes it look not quite as smooth.
Yeah, he looks kind of stiff when he's like kind of just getting started on his walk-up. But, I mean, hey, everyone has their own way of doing things, and it certainly has worked for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That clean release is what you need the most. And Bradley Williams not quite able to bounce back after that bogey on the last hole.
Niklas able to at least save par here. And, yeah, Bradley's definitely been on target, though. Both of his misses, I can recall, have both just been a little high. So he's definitely on the right track. Get the Mason Ford here, who's within circle one for birdie. That'll cancel out the last hole.
Go ahead and count it. Just one of 3 on the day. Isaac Robinson and Corey Ellis also able to card this one.
And yeah, Gibson wound up not being out of bounds, by the way. I thought I saw him land in that ditch, and he didn't take a meter or nothing. That's where he landed, and he's able to get his par.
Moves them into hole 5, typically hole 1 out here at Nevin Park. 580 feet. If you can get to about this point, slightly farther left than the drone flew, then you're going to be in the best spot to approach this fairway. Excuse me, this basket down here at the end of the fairway, which does have OB long and right just outside of the circle, drops about 30 feet once you get to that first landing spot.
And a well line of drive there.
That's the landing
position.
spot.
Indeed it is, just as you drew it up. And I mean, this disc has become pretty much synonymous with Drew Gibson at this point. Unfortunately, didn't get the best flight out of it that time.
Yeah, his mid-range disc, as he likes to call it.
Too bad it has like bold-face font name right on the plate. Can't really get away with that one, as this is a great shot as well.
Yeah, Bradley Williams sliding up there into a similar position as Mason, just maybe 15, 20 feet farther behind.
Oh my. Dude.
What?
Now, Nathan, how many times do you think a disc is making it that far down this fairway?
Oh man, not too many. He got he got a little sneaky on the inside there, and I don't think too many discs are gonna continue to fly like that. But Drew, able to hit the fairway on that second shot, give himself a putt from that log, maybe 50 feet or so.
Bradley Williams gets exactly what he wanted out of that, but just doesn't quite get over that log. So going to have a little bit of a longer putt, but still an accurate shot. Just got to talk to your disc, Nathan. That's it.
Yeah, and it'll sit. Just got to tell it to, you know. Got a little bit too much drift on that one, but luckily
this is
it
absurd.
listens well. Yeah, that's so far down the fairway. Look at that little pop, little disc.
Aww.
Yeah, a little nothing of a shot there and just didn't quite pop it enough. You've got 3 putts, all about the same distance right here. Bradley showed him the low line. Let's see what Drew's going to show us.
Yeah, I believe this is about 50 feet out. Gibson will come up just a little bit low, so 2 strikes. Let's see if we're going to bat out here if Niklas can save us.
I feel like he's got this one, needing to get back to even.
Well, maybe it's time for you to go hit up the lottery a little bit there, Nathan, because that is indeed dropped in for birdie.
Let's watch that again. So smooth.
Indeed. As when interviewed earlier this year, I mean, Niklas talked about, he knows he doesn't throw as far as the other players on tour, but he feels like he is very accurate and that he has a strong putting game, and that is what can bring him success, and certainly has been recently.
Yeah, he's showing us that accuracy that you definitely need out here at Nevin.
Man, fourth on a heater.
Yeah, 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. Definitely canceling out that bogey that he took on 3.
He's yet the par hole. It's been 4 birdies and a bogey.
Right. Got hole 1 as well.
As a pretty crazy stat, by the way, as we see Drew tap in, no one bogeyed this hole today. All pars and birdies.
Sweet. Good on the players. No bogeys on that hole, and a second hole in a row with no bogeys as we move to the easiest hole on the course, hole 6, 333 feet, playing closer to 400. Flippy fairway or driver, depending on how much power you have. Gonna want to release it on a hyzer and let it stand up to flat and just push its way up the hill.
Something like that, maybe?
Something like that. Mason Ford does it well. Going to be inside circle 1. Trying
Looking
to keep
that. Yeah, you're about to say the same thing as me. Go ahead and say it.
Keep that no par streak alive.
In the best way possible with the turkey. Love that. That's going to get caught up.
Yeah, not too far right side. This is one of the more lenient fairways that you have, but still a little bit too much right on that one.
Gibson riding center the whole time here. Perfect.
Going to be up there in a similar spot to Mason's disc.
Bradley hoping to join them. Trying to follow that trail. He's done so successfully.
Yeah, this looks nice. Runs out of a little bit of speed late. Gonna leave him just outside the circle, I believe. Gonna 40 feet or so.
Oh, that wasn't far off. Had the right speed.
Right speed, right height.
Just right. Get it?
Got it.
All right. That wasn't my best work. But.
See if Bradley's gonna do good. Nope. Also right speed, right height. Just pulled it off to the right.
Drew going left. The other direction, opposite of right. Into the chains.
Yeah, able to connect. Moves him to 3 down for the round now. Only clean player, I believe.
Yep, got back-to-back birdies on 1 and 2, so you're right. As Mason Ford with the turkey, yet to par, but he's happy about the 4 under, so I'm sure he's not too concerned.
Yeah, you can afford a bogey when you have taken 5 birdies on the other holes. Just need to keep that going and make sure you do get a par the next time you don't birdie. As Bradley Williams is probably about tired of those pars. He's got 4 of them on the round, just 1 birdie, 1 bogey.
Yeah, again, with this format, only the top 4 scores move on, so got to get it all done here. We'll finish it off after a short break.
What could we have here?
Fancy stuff here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good quality, super stiff, pretty grippy too, I would say.
I think I would throw every disc in this plastic.
Great Lakes Disc, located in Grand Rapids, Michigan, is a fully stocked retail disc golf store that fulfills all of your disc golf needs. We carry all of the major manufacturers, accessories, and offer player and event sponsorship, along with tournament payout assistance. To learn more about Great Lakes Disc, visit greatlakesdisc.com.
Moving into hole 7, another difficult birdie to get, 375 feet. Of course, there's another gap to hit, and you've really got to control the speed on this one as you see that 25-foot drop or so just 3 feet behind the basket. You're already throwing downhill 33 feet to get to the basket, so difficult to do, but really got to control the speed.
Just gets a little bit too much turn out of that. I was just doing a nice late slow turn, but it just never stopped. Gets caught up. That needs to turn in a hurry.
Roll.
It does.
And yeah, he was doing his best to keep it from going long and did just a little bit too good. Not quite enough height. Gonna have a scary upshot. I don't think he quite got far enough for a putt.
Niklas getting caught up on that right-hand side as well. Looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of layups for par at this point. Not too shocking, really. It's a hole you feel like probably gets parred a lot, but definitely tough to get it just right for the birdie.
This needs to, yeah, and just a little bit too far right, just like the other players. Downhill, just grabbing that and carrying the momentum of the disc off to the right. And that's a good upshot from where he was at. Main thing here is going to be landing your disc flat. You don't want it to come on any hyzer or anhyzer.
Yep, so far so good for the card here. Mason Ford will find a similar result to the rest. And Gibson was actually centered, but again, just didn't really have the distance to have a reasonable putt here. Oh, wow. I mean, that works.
Terrible layup. Terrible layup. That works out fantastic.
He laid it up right to the root, like just a direct hit.
Oh,
but gets a drop in.
Yeah.
That's when he comes out. That's when he needs to just come out and be like totally calculated.
Yeah. Bank shot.
I believe you got to call that first at the billiards table, but I guess not in disc golf.
Nobody, not a single player of the 12 here today got into circle 1 on this hole. We only had one birdie, Kevin Jones, hitting from circle 2. Brings us into hole 8, 622-foot par 4. You want to land somewhere around this bridge. There's a couple lines to get there. Once you do get there, you've got another downhill fairway, very tight, very narrow. To this, again, guarded green. There's a little ditch in front of it also, so if you try to play the ground play, you could get caught up about circle's edge or so.
That's Mason going to hit on that left-hand side, but bounces back to a centered position. Just didn't make as much progress as you wanted.
Oh, are we finally going to see somebody take the inside line? Nope. He's throwing the backhand on the outside line.
And slides up into a pretty solid position.
So that's
kind
not
of near that bridge is a decent spot.
Yeah, that's definitely, he's in a great spot. That's not quite the entire outside forehand line that these guys are trying to take. That kind of cut in the middle of the two lines. As you see, that one comes in a lot more left and skips over there. It's going to be in a pretty good spot as well. Ideally, you'd like to get up close to that bridge, though. They've still got a pretty good amount of distance left.
Yeah, Bradley Williams going with the much slower disc, just making sure he keeps himself centered on the fairway. Definitely very much about placement golf on a par 4 like this.
And Mason Ford has placed himself in a good spot to get up and down for par. Just taking his medicine, not trying to get too aggressive.
Williams trying to get down there, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, and maybe a bit of a slip. Looked like he might have slipped and got the nose up a bit more than he wanted, threw that a little higher.
And yeah, even Gibson there looked like he had a little bit of trouble with footing as well.
Yeah, ends up low left side. Caught up early.
There's a lot of leaves and roots here. I mean, a lot can happen. I'm digging that. Wow.
Yeah. Niklas finding a way down the right side. Gonna be inside circle 1 looking for another birdie. Put him to under par on the round.
Mason Ford kind of gets a weird kick at the end of that flight, but has a putt.
Yeah, he found that same gap that Niklas did. That's off to the right of where you're wanting to throw it, but both of those players able to hit it.
Solid up for Drew there.
That's that little ditch I was talking about. He got caught up in. Gonna leave him a bit more of a tester putt. Woo!
And Ford slides it in, keeping him at 4 under par through 8 holes here. Definitely keeping himself well in contention at this point. Good par there for Gibson.
Yeah, also keeping him kind of in that contention area. None of these guys are out of it yet. Still lots of birdies to go. And not being over par is a big plus. Niklas about to have a birdie putt. Bradley needs to save this par and then get on a roll. He is starting to run out of time.
Yeah, yesterday 5 under par got you in. That was the 4th spot, which is the score that Niklas had. Then we had 2 6-unders and a 7 under. And then during the play-in, it was real rough. It was really bad conditions, so not really getting too much of a read off of that. So you kind of feel like you want to be somewhere in that 5 to 7 under par range to give yourself a good chance at advancing.
Niklas able to connect for his birdie, 1 of 3 on the day. James Conrad, Corey Ellis, 3 bogeys also. This whole average right at par. Moving into hole 9. A little more difficult of a par 4, 630 feet. To get to the top of that hill is about 320. Then you want to go a little bit farther and move to the right. Very specific landing zone on this one and difficult to hit. Backhand hyzer flip shot is going to be the best play so you can flatten back out and land softly. Forehand goes to that area as well, but more likely to get a skip, as that's incredible.
As my friend Matty O would say, filet mignon. That was as good as it gets.
Is there a better cut than that? Because that's better. That's...
I mean, I'm personally a ribeye guy, like a tomahawk ribeye. I think is kind of it. I mean, we can go like Wagyu. I mean, whatever you want to do, man. Whatever floats your boat.
I like the Wagyu. Drew Gibson trying to get up there. Doesn't quite get it moving far enough to the right, though. Gonna be in a kind of a bite off as much as you feel comfortable with position.
That's more of a skirt steak there.
Yeah,
that's
it might
like
be a little tough.
That's like 80-20 ground beef right there. Maybe 90-10.
Yeah, and we're looking at some turkey over here.
I have
scrambling.
no idea what that is.
Yeah, just finding its way through the woods. They like to kind of roam around. Is Mason able to advance down the fairway a ton for not being up and around that corner? Great shot from him. Should be able to recover for par.
There you go. Real nice, dude. God.
Wow. That'll do.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. He's got a birdie look.
Indeed, he does. Niklas Anttila is looking to do the same here. Again, he loves this disc. He uses it quite a lot. From the standstill. And just beams it down there. But that is a long putt. Edge of circle one. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, nice scramble there from Bradley. Should be able to save his par. Mason, long birdie chance here.
Flew right in the face of it, man. Just didn't quite have enough steam to get there.
Drew Gibson for birdie.
What a scramble, man. And a great putt to boot.
Yeah, nowhere near as difficult, but I kind of flashed me back to his scramble birdie on hole 3 at Hornets Nest last year. Much harder upshot and much longer putt, but still a scramble birdie nonetheless, as Niklas back-to-back birdies on 2 difficult par 4s. As we saw 2 of the 3 birdies on the day here, Aaron Gossage, only other birdie.
As we're about to wrap things up here on our front 9 for this card for our quarterfinals for our Pro Tour finale. A couple of pars and a couple of birdies, and things are getting pretty spicy here. You got Drew Gibson and Mason Ford tied in first position at 4 under par. Niklas Anttila just 2 strokes behind them, and Bradley Williams been playing solid golf but needs to start scoring in order to put himself in contention. As we take a look at it here, you can see Isaac Robinson's kind of the other guy top on the charts with the 2 of our card. Chris Clemens also in the mix, and it's kind of between 4 and 2 under par at this point, so still a very tight race. Certainly appreciate all of you who've chosen to come over here to Gatekeeper and tune in to this coverage. Hope that you'll subscribe so you can catch some more. Also, a big thank you goes out to all the Patreon supporters who help make this coverage possible. And once again, I am Dustin Murray, and with me was Nathan Queen, and we'll see you on the back 9 real soon.
We'll see you guys out there.